Bum 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 bum.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm Maui. I'm your host for this evening, and you're about to hear a little bit of or see a little bit of live theater tonight. We found this particular play on the New Play Exchange. It was written by a young man in New York by the name of Zach Ezer. So, Zach, thank you so much for giving us the rights to do this play tonight. This is our first virtual live theater. So this is going to be an interesting experiment tonight of doing theater in a virtual space. We're very excited and very honored to bring it to you tonight. Black Prometheus is a dark, dystopic science fiction tale in the style of a Black Mirror about two young people stuck in a negative experience machine. I think you will enjoy it. A couple pieces of housekeeping before we start. Everybody's doing this from their homes, obviously, because we are in quarantine right now, all of us. And as such, we have varying levels of audio quality and video quality. So hopefully you hear and see everything okay. But if you don't, please don't spam the actors with comments on their audio and video quality while the show goes. Uh, the show should run about 20 minutes or so. Afterwards, I will have a conversation with the actors about the play, and if you want to put comments and questions in the stream, that would be the time to do it. We can pull them up on the screen. We can ask questions in real time to the actors. So once again, thank you so much for being a part of this tonight. And without further ado, enjoy Black Prometheus. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bum 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 ba-da-da-dum ba-da-dum bum 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 bum.
Rebooting. Nozick. Machine simulation number 121896. 3/5 word score.
Jollof. That's 19 plus double word on the J makes 27. Your move.
Jollof? What is jollof?
It's a rice dish. You've never had jollof.
No way that's a word. You're making it up.
Why would I do that? 27 points. That puts me ahead by 35.
Check the Scrabble dictionary.
Really?
You heard me. It's a challenge.
Fine. It's not in there.
So take the letters back and start again.
Fine, I'm going to use my turn to replace all my tiles. Your move.
Azimuth. Going sideways, and I get as vertically.
Azimuth? What kind of Harry Potter bullshit is that?
It's the horizontal angle of a compass. Look it up.
Fine. I will. Okay, what's it worth?
21 plus 2 more for the as and double word for using all my tiles, so 44. I take the lead.
Okay, my turn. I'm going with Fleek. 12 plus triple word is 36. Tying it up.
Challenge.
How petty are you? Fine, look it up.
Oh, it's not in there.
Check your phone. They added it for the 2016 edition. That old dictionary you got won't have it. All tied up then.
Vang. And before you ask, it's the securing ropes on a ship. Look it up if you don't believe me.
I'm sure it is. My turn. I'm going to turn your blood into bloods, turning it from an 8-point play into a 9, giving me the lead.
Challenge.
How? How could you possibly challenge me?
It's a proper noun.
What?
You can't use the name of a gang.
What? Are you trying to piss me off? I'm using it as a verb. Example, she bloods the board after punching him in the nose for his latest ignorant comment. Your play. What the fuck is that?
It's a common colloquialism used by rural Americans all over the country, and
Coon. Are you kidding me?
it's a perfectly legal move.
It's not even worth that many points.
Not to put me ahead.
Buckra.
What is a bukra?
It's a common colloquialism used by Americans all over the country.
A slang term used to describe white men? Commonly translated from Jamaican patois as oppressor. You racist.
It's a perfectly legal move, and unlike yours, it's worth 14.
Oh, I know what I'm doing if I get an E.
The hell you are!
What's going on in here?
I was merely trying to make a move, and she accosted me.
Ma'am, please let me see your hand.
Officer, I'm going to take my hand out of the bag.
Weapon! Freeze!
Nozick, machine simulation number 111204. Booty poppin'.
It's crazy out there tonight, huh?
I guess so.
These guys can't keep their hands off of me.
Yeah.
Are you not having any luck tonight? Sorry, girl, I didn't mean to rub it in.
You're fine.
You're definitely pretty. No doubt about that. What kind of man wouldn't want to take a bite out of a queen like you?
Thanks, I guess.
I think I know what it is, sis. It's your ass.
What's wrong with my ass?
Nothing's wrong with it per se, it's just flat.
Sounds like you're saying that's what's wrong with it.
No, not me. Society is telling you that. Big asses are all in these days. Kim Kardashian, Iggy Azalea. I don't know who decided, but now it really pays to have some junk in the trunk.
Sure it does.
And we can't all be as blessed as me.
Maybe you should go back out there and show the wealth.
Exactly! You should come with me. We can go dance together, attract a pair of hotties.
I'm all right. I should leave anyway. I'm starting a new job in the morning.
Suit yourself then. I'm finding me a man.
So this isn't too hard. You just have to sit at the desk, take in my appointments, and then send them in when I'm ready for them.
Sounds doable.
And during office hours, I'm going to need you to address me as doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Perfect. But after work, who's to say what you'll call me? Just make sure they have an appointment.
Yes, doctor. Oh, hey! How are you?
Do I know you?
We met at the club last night. It was in the bathroom.
You must have me confused, because I do not hook up in bathrooms.
No, we didn't. Never mind. What can I help you with?
I need to see the doctor immediately.
Are you okay? What's wrong?
I'm not going to tell you. Just let me see a doctor.
I have someone here who needs to see you. No, they don't have an appointment, but it seems urgent. Okay, I'll let them know. Doctor, he says it'll be a few minutes. He also wanted to know what was wrong.
It's my... Can I just get a damn form?
Here you go. Feel free to take a seat anywhere. Are you okay?
Fine. I just prefer to stand. They say it's much better for you.
I'll just call this in. She's finished her paperwork, Doctor. Let me see what she's got.
No, don't read it.
It appears she's birthed an implant in her...
Rebooting. Nozick machine simulation number 11, 19, 16, 16, 16, 16, 6.
Who? Where are we?
I don't have a lot of time. Take this.
Wasn't I just in a doctor's office?
Working in one. Listen, they're going to reboot us any minute, but I can't die again, okay? I wanted to try one of their simulations for once, so I got their scripts.
Programs? But how?
Trust me. Take this. We're going to make it out alive this time, okay?
Right. Okay.
Rebooting. Nozick machine simulation number 11, 19, 16. Race surrealist.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
That was some speech you gave. I saw the profile of you in the Times. You must be famous.
Yeah, I get a press request probably once per day.
That's impressive. But just what do you and your followers hope to accomplish with your movement?
Well, we're trying to change the world. And we're going to do that by changing consciousness and changing how people see the world and how they see themselves.
Okay, so how should people see themselves?
If you were to sum it up in one word, I would say it's identity. Identity is the foundation of everything. Race is real. Race matters. Race is the foundation of identity.
I suppose that's why they call you an identitarian. But aren't you afraid of people thinking that you're a racist?
I'm a tribalist. I'm not a racist or a white supremacist. Racist has come to mean anyone to the right of Karl Marx. Basically anyone who cares for their people. Anyone who is not a self-hating, self-abasing, and thinks white people need to be exterminated.
So what should we be doing?
Reviving the Roman Empire. I think we should dream big. The ethno-state is an ideal. It would be an empire that would be welcome to Italians, to Scots, to Russians, to white Americans, to Finns, etc., to have a safe space for all Europeans from around the world.
Why do we need a safe space?
Why do Jews need a safe space?
So you are an anti-Semite.
I didn't want to become an anti-Semite. It's the biggest right-wing cliche. The core principle, in my view, is ethno-nationalism, meaning that nations should be as ethnically and racially homogenous as possible. Look at the history of multiracial nations. It's a history of conflict, a history of distrust, and it's ultimately a history of blood and tears.
So how does the ethno-state happen?
Peaceful ethnic cleansing?
Can't possibly believe that.
Maybe it'll be bloody and terrible. That's a possibility with everything.
And you think people deserve this?
Hispanics and African Americans have lower average IQs than whites and are more genetically predisposed to commit crimes. Africans have benefited from their experience with white supremacy.
So, how did slavery benefit Africans?
We don't exploit other groups. They need us, not the other way around.
So, what is it that we bring to the table?
I think there is something within the European soul that we haven't been able to measure yet, and maybe we never will. A Faustian drive. To be white is to be a striver, a crusader, an explorer, and a conqueror. Who would have sailed their ships in the uncharted waters?
Every coastal culture in history. You talk a lot about the white race, but what do you do that's so special? You don't seem so superior to me.
Someone like me is perceived as the new fourth estate.
I'd hardly call what you do journalism.
Going by the statistics, I'm less influential than some people. Trump, say, or Kim Kardashian, but way more influential than some punk blogger at Politico or the Weekly Standard who thinks himself as part of the media elite. Objectively, I am the new media.
You think you have the world by the balls. You think you've contributed more than anyone else?
I just don't buy into this human rights dogma where everyone's a little snowflake or unicorn or so on. You matter when you are trying to achieve something that is greater than yourself. You matter when you leave a legacy. We memed the alt-right into existence. We inflected Donald Trump's trajectory. But if Africans had never existed, world history would be almost the same as it is today.
That is obviously false. African Americans alone invented open heart surgery and traffic lights and rock and roll and pacemakers.
People with your level of education need to bear more children.
Who with your level of intelligence make me think you might be onto something with the whole eugenics idea.
Whenever you see a phenomenon, you see its negative aspect, the dark side to something that is happening. We only want to raise the consciousness among Europeans in the United States.
You really are a fascist.
I sometimes get a boner reading about Napoleon. The important thing is that the people in charge are people like me.
I'm sure you attract all the evil brawn types at these rallies with talk like that.
I'm married. My hot wife, who more importantly is a great mother to our children, is Persian. There's something about the Asian girls. They are cute. They are smart. They have a kind of thing going on.
Rib, rib.
You mind telling me what the fuck that was?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
Did you pick the next one? What is it?
I'm not sure. When I got back there, something was different. I think it locked me out.
Locked you out? What is that?
Rebooting. Nozick. Machine simulation number 32-31-7. The sundown also rises.
Say it again.
I'm gonna marry you.
It's hotter every time you say it. This time next year we'll be on our honeymoon, relaxing on a sandy beach in South America, making some mixed race babies.
Wait a second. Love, I thought we said we could go to Hawaii for our honeymoon.
Hawaii? That's where your parents are.
So?
So we're getting enough family at the wedding. We should go somewhere new. Somewhere exotic for our honeymoon. You know, I've never even left the country.
I know, but...
But what? Don't you want to go away with me?
I do, but... Do you remember the talk we had when we first started dating?
Which one?
We were in my first apartment in New York, and I was telling you that dating a black person would mean some things were going to be different than you were used to.
Yeah, and I thought we had covered that. We don't have to invite my racist Uncle Irving to the wedding. But what does that have to do with the honeymoon?
Well, as bad as the US is, there's at least some familiarity with black people. That's not true everywhere in the world.
What do you mean?
Well, most of East Asia is out.
Asia? Why?
Those people have never even seen a black person before. So not only am I going to be the tallest guy in the country, but they also don't have a great sense of personal boundaries. My brother did a year abroad there. They sneak up on you and take pictures of you wherever you go.
Well, what's so bad about pictures?
I don't want to be a spectacle on vacation. I just want to relax and enjoy my time with my new wife.
Okay. I guess I can understand that. Okay, so no Japan, China, or Korea. What about Southeast Asia? India sounds amazing. I just watched Eat, Pray, Love, and it was like really beautiful.
Definitely not.
Okay,
Definitely
what's wrong
not.
with India?
Indian people straight up mob black people and beat them in the streets.
What? I've never heard of that. Are you serious?
Google black people India. It's apparently a common occurrence.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
It's fine. We just have to choose more carefully.
You're right. What about Europe? The UK could be fun. I've always wanted to go to Ireland.
Ireland? That place is like if Boston was a whole country. No, thank you.
Okay, maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. Where do you want to go?
I want to go somewhere that I'm not going to be the only black person. I spent my whole life as the only black guy in my neighborhood, at work. I love you, honey, but even marrying you, I've agreed to involve myself with even more white people going forward.
Well, I didn't know that it was such a sacrifice for you.
It isn't, but it is a choice.
And it isn't marrying you? I'm sorry. You're right, it's not the same.
Thank you. I just want to be somewhere I don't have to think about race for once.
Okay, what if we went to Africa?
I don't know. I'm not going to spend my honeymoon in a hut. I'm trying to relax. I have no interest in a safari or wearing some crazy fucking loincloth. Do you want to carry a jug on your head? It's you.
Leave him alone! It's his cell phone!
Nozick, machine simulation number 40820 by Black.
You called me. How did you do that?
You didn't see the phone back there?
No. Where did you go?
I thought the same place as you, but I'm not so sure.
What the hell is going on? Who's doing this? Who keeps killing us over and over again?
I have no idea, but I picked the next one. I found one we could do together.
Not like the last one.
I don't think so. But it's so rough. Listen to me. You gotta push back this time, okay? I'm gonna try something.
Did you find out how to leave?
So it's gonna go different this time if you act different.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna get us started.
You.
Told you it's different this time.
Nozick, machine simulation number 40820 by Black.
Should I get us some coffee?
Is it going to have $50,000 at the bottom?
I don't know why you're getting snippy with me. I'm not the one who arrested a 12-year-old kid for not having a permit for his lemonade stand, and I'm not the one who set a 5-figure bail.
No, but you are the one who needed the bathroom redone last month.
Just want to get my boy out of that cell.
And I don't. I just don't see how we can afford it.
We could always.
Go to Walmart? That place is going to destroy this town. We can't support them. You know what we do in this house.
I know. We buy black.
Buy black.
But you don't even like Marcus anyway. Everyone says he overcharges.
Like Marcus. I fucking hate that Negro. Him and two other dudes jumped me in the 6th grade for no reason and dislocated my jaw. Now it clicks when I do this. See?
I don't hear anything.
I can hear it. Whenever I eat a steak, it's all I can hear.
So forget about Marcus. We gotta go to Walmart.
Baby, no. We promised each other when we bought a house in our neighborhood that we were going to support it. We went to white colleges and work at white companies so we can create some black wealth for ourselves and our people.
I don't think this is what we had in mind.
How can you say that? This is exactly what I wanted to be thinking about when we moved here. We can't compromise our principles when things get tough.
But we can't afford Marcus.
You know what I always say? If you can't afford to buy local, you can't afford to buy it all.
So we can't afford to get our son out of jail. Look, we're lucky they took him alive. We're taking a risk every second he's in there, and they're going to try him as an adult. The prosecutor can ask for the death penalty.
I know, baby, but we have to take a stand.
Take a stand? And what the fuck are these, baby?
Well, those are different.
What's so different about these cracker Oreos?
Well, it's not the same thing. The local ones don't get the flavor right. They're not even the same cookie.
Not even the same cookie. Do you hear yourself?
I'm just trying to say.
I am all ears for this. What the hell are you trying to say? How is our son less important than your oppression cookies?
Okay, let's go to Walmart.
Welcome to Walmart. How can I help you?
Hi, we're looking for the bail bonds department.
Well, you sure found me. What can I help you with this evening?
We want to bail out our son. The case number is a 6 and then 7 zeros.
Okay, I found him. Your total is going to be $48,600.
What? That's almost as much as Marcus.
Shut up about Marcus.
Okay, well, if this is out of your price range, we do have something a little cheaper.
I'm not going to be here for this.
Wait, is he supposed to... Oh, well, sorry about that. Well, if you're on a budget, Walmart puts the fun in fungibility. Let's discuss our proxy option. For only $8,000, one of our employees, we call them partners, will take your son's place up until the trial. If you're found guilty, then we can put you on a payment plan for the rest of his stay in custody. This way, the jail still gets paid for housing someone, and you don't have to spend any more time away from your loved one.
How do you justify doing this to people?
All of our employees sign up voluntarily. In fact, most of them are local boys from right here in town. They're just trying to earn an honest living, and we are providing good jobs. We even offer dental. Between you and me, there's plenty of businesses that run poverty traps in this neighborhood. You can fall right in if you aren't careful.
I guess I...
Holy shit, everybody get down. He's got a cell phone.
That worked.
I guess so.
What do you mean? We're not them. We're not dead. That's great.
But is this all we can do?
What do you mean?
We kill them, they kill us. Does it really matter if they just set it up again?
If we set it up again, that's important.
Is it? If we're just doing the same sims over and over again, just breaking them.
We're in control now.
Are we?
Echopiece Theater proudly presented Black Prometheus tonight. This was written by Zach Ezer. This was directed by Maui Jones with help from Stephanie Iverson and Lotus Lindez. The sounds were done by Lotus Lindez. Camera work done by Maui Jones. This starred Jasmine McDonald, Anthony Brown, Tim Bruns, and Stephanie Iverson, and Lotus Lindez as the voice. Please join us now for a little talk back. And here we are. Yay! Yay!
Woo, we did it!
We did it.
First one,
Our
first
one.
live play.
Yeah. That was so much fun. I was getting sucked in. I was like, oh, I got to remember all my cues.
You said camera work was you. Camera work was all of us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody
we had to
controlled their
press the off
individual
button.
cameras. I did all the transition cards. So we already have. So Linda Hughes Vincent said, Linda Vincent is enjoying you. I like the third person there. Papa Iverson with the claps. Our very own Allison Ascom with the smiley faces said loved it. This person, CDFD man, said great job. And hey, Vicky's in here, said congratulations. Thank you so much, everybody. So we're gonna do a quick talk back, and if you have any questions, please post them in the chat, and I'll try and get to them, to all of them. We're gonna do about let's say about 10-15 minute little talk back here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Also, if you enjoyed this, at 9 o'clock, we'll be going live on the Echo Show. My co-host tonight will be Stephanie, and we are going to talk with the person that wrote this play, Zach, and talk to him, just get a little bit of insight of his thoughts on making this play.
Oh, so
yeah.
did Zach watch this?
Zach did watch it. I believe Zach is in the is in the chat watching now. Tim Thomas, my homie Tim Thomas, said great job. Really enjoyed the performance. Thanks so much, Tim. Let's start with what did you guys think of this play when I sent it to you?
I personally love dystopia, anything. But I think that, I guess some of the dystopian novels that I've read or, we've been taught to read in schools they touch upon class a lot. Like class is consistently discussed in dystopia. But I feel like race is not. So I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anybody else on that one? No thoughts? No thoughts on what you thought when you got to play? Say words, people. I'll tell you what I thought. I had similar thoughts on that in terms of how it's dystopia, but it shows race.
I agree. It's so rare to see a sci-fi. It's so rare to see a sci-fi play about race.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We have a lot of people piping up in the chat now. Thank you so much for all the comments. So Mama Iverson said, loved it. Great job, everyone. Zach, the writer, is in here, said, I saw it. Great job, everyone. Kate Boyster said, wonderful job, guys. It suited the medium well. And that's actually why I picked it, because I could see how we could do it in different places, in the different windows, and make it feel like a simulation. I thought that was fun. Terry Savela, who will be our other guest, she's a local D97 in Oak Park lunch lady, and we're going to talk with her on the Echo Show as well. Susan Lucci, not the Susan Lucci from the soaps, but my friend Susan Lucci, different Susan Lucci, has a question here for you, the actors. As actors, what unique challenges are present in this venue?
All of them, all of the challenges, literally everything you could think of. Especially because like I feel like, was it just you, or did the sound lag for some people? To take a second for someone else to hear it, so it's like hard to bounce off each other's reactions as actors. Probably that was kind of a big thing.
There's that, and at least for me also, I think just seeing myself on screen and then trying to act at the same time, trying to react to everything that's happening, and get my line, and like it can be distracting.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of blocking you can do with a box and headphones and a mic, so that was interesting in terms of directing, or we all kind of self-directed as well, figuring like, are we gonna stand here? Will we just like puff up our chest, like make us look taller? So that's interesting to work with.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Eric said nice job. Allison on the lag comment said the lag worked though. I actually agree with that. It felt like it wasn't quite real, and there was like lags, like in errors in the system. So that was fun. And that was also fun trying to like, on the camera side, trying to like make everything fritz out on the error parts and things like that. So that was also fun. We just found this like, a week ago. So we
last
only,
week,
there's only a couple, 2 rehearsals and then a run through before we started this. So, that was, very minimal rehearsal time, just because we just wanted, as a theater company that, cannot perform live theater for people, we wanted to be able to put something out. We are 2 days from the date of our opening for our first play for the season, which we had to cancel. And actually, 3 people on the screen were acting in that, and I was directing that. So Lotus, Stephanie, and Tim were all in that show. And so we really just wanted to, as a company, just start putting out material. That's why we're doing the talk show, and that's why we're doing the trivia nights and everything else. Is just to, okay, how can we still provide that live entertainment feel in a virtual world that we now are forced to live in. So Susan Farnham from the Forest Park Library said, I thought you all did a really good job with that. And director from one of our other shows, Reimer of Eldridge, also delayed, unfortunately, due to the current quarantine, said, great job. Also, awesome picture there, Becca. I love it. Here's a question for you. Which of the simulations were your favorite?
Oh, that is a great question. I'm not gonna. I've talked too
I
much.
want to hear everybody's favorite simulation. I'll give mine last. Let's start with you, Steph. What was your favorite simulation?
My favorite one was the domestic one.
The Sundown Also Rises?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
And also the way that one ends, like so abruptly, and they all end very abruptly, but it's just a moment, but it's so sad.
Yeah. All right, Tim, what about you?
I think it's the Allmart one.
The Allmart one? That one's fun.
It's really well written.
Character too.
Yeah, but it's also really well written.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Jay, what about you?
First one and the last one. Of course, I can't just pick one because freaking rules. But so yeah, the first one and the last one for me. I think that they're things that I probably related to the most, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. I suppose like there are other aspects to them that I relate to, or even like I was intended to be an outsider to, kind of maybe the 2 in the 3 in the middle, but I felt connected to the first one and the last one.
Yeah, Anthony. I think we have a frozen Anthony.
More lag.
Oh, no.
He's moving this like micro expressions. I love it.
At least that doesn't happen during the show.
I'm split between the.
Wow.
The anticipation is killing me.
Yeah.
I hope for the last.
All of them.
We're gonna come back to Anthony.
I can hear you, but I don't know if you can
there
hear
he
me.
is. Yeah, we can hear you again. So what was yours? You stuck in the simulation, Allison.
Yeah, still there.
Anthony, if you want to hop out and hop back in, see if maybe rebooting will help.
Rebooting.
In the interim, let's go to
I
Grab
think
my hand.
Oh no, there he is.
I
There he
think
is.
the sundown also rises was my favorite one.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good one. Oh, and now he's gone. Lotus, what about you?
I am not Lotus. I am Anthro Research AI 1293. My favorite simulation was the interracial couple one.
Mm-hmm.
Is very, I guess, like relevant today. There's a lot of like, I liked it because it touched upon a lot of microaggressions that you might think about, or that maybe people don't think about with interracial relationships.
Mm-hmm.
But it also talked about macroaggressions, like on a wide scale, how Black people by all different races are kind of been marginalized, but also like the interpersonal dynamics of being in it. So yeah, I guess I related to that one the most. So I like that one.
Yeah, I feel the same way about that one. I think my favorite's probably 3/5 word score, the Scrabble simulation.
The Scrabble one, yeah.
I love that one, but I very much echo those sentiments, and also being in a interracial relationship myself. Like, yeah, definitely, like, you know, there's a certain balance and tension that you have to manage because it comes with a lot of preconceived, you know, power dynamics. Same thing, you know, across a cis hetero relationship, right, with traditional male female power dynamics, right? Like, so there's all of this weight and history and trauma behind these relationships. Any relationship you're in really is going to come with a power dynamic and a trauma set. So that's a very fascinating thing to look into. I love all of them. I think that each of them have very interesting, nuanced things that you can go into. The one where Jasmine and Anthony, when you're in the in the bot's place and you're the right winger and you're like the well-meaning white lady in that one, right? Like, that's a fascinating one to have to play out, to like, and to see that kind of stuff being spoken through people of color, especially, you know, people that I, you know, of my cultural background, is a jarring thing to see, you know. So that one.
And you say,
yeah, right. It's wild. Let's see. If we have any more questions, we'll take them now. We're gonna do about another 5 minutes, and then we're gonna call it, so that I can use the restroom before my next stream. While we're waiting to see if we have any other questions, I'd love for each of you to give your final thoughts on either the play itself or just the experience of doing something virtually like this. And let's start this time with. See, Lotus went last time. Let's go first with you this time.
So I appreciated the format of the play. It was kind of atypical, but fortunately, it made it work on this kind of platform pretty well. I'm looking forward to, you know, 6 months from now when we have a bunch of playwrights that are writing for this kind of platform. Mm-hmm. I hope that this simulation inspired playwrights out there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anthony, what about you? That's deep, bro.
So
I think Lotus said things I was going to say. This play feels like it was perfect for this medium. And you know, it's interesting what this format is going to do going forward. So, you know, like reading the stage directions in this play, you can envision it on the stage, but doing it in a streaming capacity with people in different locations, it works too. So it's interesting, like what's performance in this sort of medium. So that's very interesting to me. So I'm glad we got the opportunity to do this.
Yeah, I love that, and And also just going forward, if anybody out there listening, if you know anybody that is a playwright, or if anyone here is a playwright and you want to write a short form piece for this medium, for this format, we're going to continue to do these. We're looking at plays now to do more, and I would love to get your voice heard and give you a platform with your writing. So that's an open call to anybody who wants to write for this medium, as we're stuck indoors. Tim, let's go to you. What are your final thoughts?
So I really enjoyed working with this platform and just the way everything ended up looking in terms of how the scenes would transition and how everyone was just pretty much acting on a screen. In some ways, it kind of reminded me of that movie that starred John Cho a few years ago called Searching, where it was it was all on like the entire film is either on like an iPad screen or a computer screen. And that's the only point of view you get is from some kind of laptop or something, or a phone. And so I just thought it made it kind of fun to do that in a theater setting. So
for sure. Let's move on to Steph.
As for working with this medium, it definitely presents unique challenges, but it's fun to see how theater just powers through it and continues to work, and we find new ways to do entrances and exits and sound effects, and we come up with the show that still captures people and still gets their attention. For me personally, I kind of like doing this. I don't know why, but I feel braver when I'm in my living room all alone and only my cat's watching me. Like, so
I will say way less goosebumps or stage fright potential.
But I'm still getting the positive energy that comes from being on a stage with people, because even though it's virtual, we're a cast, and that it feels nice. And in theater, like, it'll always be with us as people. Like, you can't get away from it.
Absolutely. And final word, always fitting. Final word from a Black Queen, my good friend Jasmine. What's your final thought?
When you said that, I was like, oh dang. So a couple things, because I feel like you knew I was going to do that. The first thing I think is there are definitely less nerves, right? I can't see you. So my audience is kind of out there. And so as somebody who's also done like film, it's just such an interesting thing where I don't see my audience. So I'm giving kind of something to the screen and kind of hoping you receive it in a various ways. But then also getting the instantaneous feedback that theater allows, right? So the questions, the comment section, and being able to kind of feed off of that and still interact is something that you also lose in film.
Absolutely.
I think the second piece that I will say is that soapbox I'm going to get on. Art is always the first thing to go, right? And so when it comes down to, kids aren't in schools, and it's the last thing on the list for a lot of folks. And obviously this proves, and I've heard it, I've heard people say it a lot of times, like, remember when everything goes back to kind of your ability to go outside, remember that you relied on art, you Netflix, you did all these things. And so that's been floating around. And I think that this just shows like art lives on all the time, right? It's our way of communicating. It's our expression. It's the way we document, right? So this, you can record it, you can do all kinds of things. And it's this, people remember this moment by virtue of, hey, you know what? I watched a virtual play. Like, that's a thing. And so just take the historian aspect of that. And then the last thing I'll say specifically about the play itself, which is finding new ways to relay messages that people may not receive otherwise, right? I have a tendency to really, really like complex ideas and saying the things that people don't want to say, or the things that make people uncomfortable, specifically through art. And so for me, a play like this with people love, okay, people love
that's my boyfriend.
Sci-fi. People love sci-fi, and being able to take it into a context like this. We're like, I just want to watch it because it's sci-fi. That's cool. But I hope you learn something. Just saying.
Amen. I think that's a great place to end it. Thank you all for watching. Real quick, let me see if any other. It's kind of like Brady Bunch intro acting. We were singing that right before we started, Anthony and I. Mark said it's like old radio, but we can see you. Becky said, thanks for doing this. It's the only way I can watch a live play with my best friend who moved to Ohio. That's beautiful. Boyfriend Zachary said, Yas Queen, preach it. Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. And then Eric said, I really liked the effect of one screen interacting with another, either through reactions or passing an item to another person. Very clever. Thank you so much for all your comments. Thank you so much for watching. That's it. Have a great night. And as we always sign off, in all things, Echo Love. Have a good night.
Bye.